Hi, guys, and welcome back to episode 3 of Building Forever. I'm Kristen Simmons.
And I'm Ryan Simmons, and we are the owners of Forever Young in Frankfurt.
Today's topic is procedures that we've had done at Forever Young and our favorites. But before we get into that, let's check in. We've been home a full week post-vacay. How you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, obviously, we've come back and we're back into a routine now, and we're at the gym, and we have more of a normal life. What we're used to. To the office every day. Obviously, there's some hiccups. This has been a rough week for us a little bit, so we're sure we can touch on that later. But how are things going for you?
It's been a week, but I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to be back in the gym. I'm feeling good. I feel like the first full week getting back into your routine after being gone is kind of just like a bit of a roller coaster. And then to top it off, we got back on a Monday and then we worked all week. And then on Sunday, I had a hair day in Chicago. So quarterly, I take my clients in the city. I pre-plan my dates. So this was already planned. So not even a full week back. I had a full day behind the chair, which takes a little bit of a toll, but it always fills up my cup. It reminds me of why I love doing what I do and why we did this, which is to help people look and feel their best. I spent 12 years building those client connections, and most of my clients fly in just to get their hair done. And so that feels like a real privilege to be at that point in my career that I've built my dream clientele that really value what I do, and I really value them to still be making the time to do this in our very busy life. So hair has been something I've just really been holding on to because I spent 12 years building my dream clientele. There's nothing worse than going to work and dreading the clients that you're working with, but I can't say that. When I do hair, I love spending time with my clients. I love helping them look and feel their best. Somehow these dates I plan always sneak up on the most inconvenient of weekends. Sometimes I overextend myself to the team and end up doing some of the girls' hair during the week in the back. So that was about 3 of my days this week. But it's hard not to, It's hard to shut that off sometimes. So in the midst of a little bit of overextending myself and helping everybody look and feel their best, it's just kind of been, to be very honest, one of those weeks that just really blindsides you. And I think, we started this podcast to be honest and open about our journey and our life experiences, and it's been a tough week.
Yeah, no, it has. I agree. I mean, we've been through this before. I mean, we have, as a new company, you hire people who you think are the best, that you can hire, and you find quickly that sometimes your hires aren't the best. So we've struggled with that a bit this week. We've had some employee issues, and so it struggles because it's not something we enjoy doing. It's not something that it's very daunting. I think sometimes when you have these issues where it's sort of you're trying to create an environment that is good for everybody and helps build a business, and then you have these things sort of creep out of nowhere sometimes where you didn't really expect it. So it's been a tough week for all of us, and certainly for you, Kristen. You've been dealing with the brunt of it. So
I'm not gonna get emotional on here, but yeah, it's hard, and I feel like we just talked about this, and I said my biggest fault is taking things personally, and sometimes it's hard not to when it is, this just happens over and over again, but I'm handling it the best that I can. It's hard not to lose sleep at night when it does feel personal. I think when you get to a certain point and you just know in your head and in your heart what is best for everybody, then it's easier to make it less about me and more about everybody else. And so that's kind of the point that we're at. And also I'm 17 weeks out now. So the big thing with me personally, with my personal goals and my coach this week, was just really working on my mentality. Because when you do switch into competition prep mode, you have to be hyper aware of the energy that you're letting into your life. When I'm in competition prep, I really raise the standards for myself, and I also raise the standards for everyone around me, because it takes a village to do what we do. And if you don't have a strong village, then you're not going to succeed. And I don't do this to not succeed. Let's talk about our favorite procedures. All the procedures we've gotten done at Forever Young, all the things that help us look and feel our best. Let's just start at the top. Let's start with, or did you have anything more to add?
No, I'm good. I think
You good on that?
you summed it up.
So Ryan's been way more adventurous, I will say. No, he was way more adventurous in the beginning with the products and procedures that we tried. But the first one that we both tried was Hydrafacial. So I'm going to let you talk about that.
Yeah, and I don't think it really me being adventurous. It's just neither one of us really knew what to do. It's a new world for both of us. So I think that I was just the first one to jump in. Not that I'm very adventurous with these types of things, but obviously the hydrofacial was sort of the simplest one to get into. I think once you do it, especially as a man, I mean, men don't take care of themselves, frankly, especially their face and their skin. So this is something that was new to me. And it's just a great procedure. Very simple. You come out, your skin's glowing. I'm sure in future podcasts we'll have esthetician on to really talk about how the hydrofacial works. But essentially, it's a mini vacuum that pulls everything out of your pores and rehydrates your skin. It's the cleanest your skin will ever be, really. So for me, that was just something that was I didn't know it really existed. So as a male, I think it's something that's important to do. And so that's probably so far my favorite. I still don't do it enough. I really should schedule them frequently, but time gets it gets in the way a bit. Sometimes I forget them, or I'm busy. I have other things going on, but I'm trying to get them as often as possible, at least once a month. So yeah, between that one and then Botox really was my next one that I jumped into, and again, something that you should start early in life. It's really preventative as far as deep wrinkles. If you get those deep wrinkles when you're older, you can't get rid of those. But if you start when you're young, they won't actually begin in your forehead, and so it's easier to control them as you get older. So so I've been doing that. Again, as a male, it's sort of not shunned upon, but certainly men are more timid with anything sort of have to do with their facial looks or their skin. So from that standpoint, it's been exciting. I do it regularly now. Every 3 months I'm in there. Botox. But yeah, so those are probably my two favorite ones that I've done so far. But Chris, I know you've dabbled a bit too, so you go ahead and tell us your experience.
Yeah, so for the hydrofacials, I love my hydrofacials. I never really took great care of my skin prior to opening. I don't think I had ever really had an actual facial. So that was a new world to me. But in addition to that, I love my dermaplanes on top of the facial. Those have really helped because I have a lot of peach fuzz and all that, but also the medical grade skincare. Kind of the same thing as hair. If you're going to drop $500, $600 on your hair, or $200 to $300 on a facial, you want to be using products that are going to maintain that high dollar service you're getting, not drugstore $2 shampoo or moisturizer or cleanser. So the medical grade skincare has really changed my skin on top of the hydrofacials. And we'll do a whole episode, I'm sure, on my favorite skincare products. But those are definitely things that I get compliments all the time on. My skin. It's the clearest and best my skin has ever looked. And then as far as Botox goes, I went almost a whole year of us being open without doing Botox. I have a 3 head. I have a small forehead. But I was really doing it more for preventative reasons, like Ryan was talking about. We dosed me pretty conservatively. One thing I've learned through my life and through with dabbling in our procedures is that I am very sensitive to pretty much any and everything. So I did have a pretty bad headache for 2 weeks the first time that I got my Botox treatment, and I actually did Xeomin because, which is just a different neurotoxin. I did Xeomin because it's supposed to be better for people that are sensitive, but still the first time, relaxing those muscles, I was just innately like fighting that. So I did have a pretty bad headache for about 2 weeks. I loved how my skin looked after the treatment, and after the 2 weeks, my headache did go away. But I will say, since I did try Xeomin, Ryan, I think you should maybe mention you've tried Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin.
Yeah, so I've tried all three, and they all have different, I guess, benefits. From the literature and what frankly, what customers say. This sport is supposed to be better for people who are maybe more active and they sweat more. So guys who go to the gym or women who go to the gym, Xeomin reacts faster, and which I did notice having all three done. That within usually the Botox takes a full 2 weeks before you see the full effect, whereas Xeomin was much more quick, probably within the first 2 or 3 days. I really noticed it. So I haven't decided which one is my favorite yet. I've done all three, so I got to sort of circle back and try over again which ones I like. But certainly I'm in it for a long haul, and of course I'm hoping to promote a lot of guys to sort of get the stigma off of getting Botox and you're looking your best even as you grow older. So
Yeah, so next is going to be my favorite procedure, but there's kind of different avenues to this. Is that how you say it?
yeah, it's certainly different. With PRP, which is what Kristen's talking about, it's a multifaceted procedure or treatment. Used to say, I mean, you can do it for hair restoration. You can do it for joint and repair of tendons with injections, and also under eye. You can use it for helping with dark circles and puffiness under your eyes. So from my standpoint, I use it for hair restoration. I struggle with hair loss, for probably the past really 15 years, I would say. Try traditional methods with different types of the treatments that are out there in the market, and some success. But this was the first time I really tried something that was truly new to me and really something I didn't really know about before we opened up Forever Young. But yeah, it's sort of you take your blood, basically do a centrifuge. It takes up the platelet-rich plasma from your blood, and you inject it into the areas of need. So in my case, it would be the top of the head. I've had five treatments so far. I really didn't notice a big difference, especially with hair loss. A big, always for me, it was always a struggle. You wake up every day and you wet my hair and I have hair all in my hands, and it's frustrating to see your hair falling out and not necessarily growing back. So this has really alleviated some of that. I did see some thicker growth in some areas. So for me, it was certainly a positive. I'll continue to do that, throughout my life now. And so I'm very happy with the results. And Chris had a different experience with a different procedure with PRP as well.
Yeah, so I use PRP for joint pain. I have had pretty bad hip pain for as long as I can remember. I did gymnastics and tumbling when I was young, and then when I began lifting heavy, I also had a lot of clicking, popping discomfort, just like on a daily basis, bending down and doing simple day to day movements. So, when Rachel, our nurse practitioner who specializes in regenerative therapies, mentioned that you can use PRP in the joint to repair that damage, I was very intrigued. I did zero research on this procedure and I was just like, done, let's do it. So we kind of did it on a whim. I will say now I'm so happy that I did. But I will also say that had I seen the needle beforehand, I probably would have chickened out. It was a big needle. It was essentially like an epidural needle that we stuck into my hip. And the poke itself, the procedure itself was so quick and virtually painless. Like, I really didn't feel it at all. She used like a numbing spray, and then this is also ultrasound guided. So it was a very quick and easy procedure. However, I think the damage was so bad in my hip that it was pretty painful afterwards for me, and I was pretty much down and out for about 3 days. I will say the downtime was not even a full week. By 7 days post injection, I was back in the gym and I had better range of motion than before. And then week over week, essentially, I've gotten stronger. I've had better range of motion. There's less clicking and popping. There's no pain or discomfort at all. I feel like I've had a brand new hip. So that was a pretty crazy experience for me. And I am so happy I did it. I can't say enough good things about PRP hip injections. So if you do have pain anywhere, it's definitely an avenue worth exploring if you're trying to avoid surgery now or later in life. Another thing that I did try with PRP, so I used it for wellness and then I used it also like cosmetically. So there's something called a vampire breast lift, and essentially you combine your platelet rich plasma and hyaluronic acid filler. And so for my case, I've always been pretty small chested. I specifically wanted to do it for my competition because when I do get stage lean and I'm wearing my suit and whatnot, I wanted to enhance my overall look. And so the best time to do it is when you do have a decent amount of body fat. So how it works is you inject the platelet rich plasma and hyaluronic acid into the breast tissue, and essentially, the PRP is going to help your body regenerate those fat cells, and you can get up to a half cup size of growth. This is also really great for people who have maybe had breast augmentation or have lost some weight or have breastfed. I am so happy with the results. I'm really blown away with how quickly I saw results, and then just the confidence boost itself was honestly better than what I expected. So if that's something that interests you, we have really great Galentine special that we're actually going to be extending through the month of February. And in addition to the vampire breast lift, you can also do the same thing in your face. It's called a vampire facelift. And then PRP can also be used for sexual wellness. So those are all the things we offer. Ryan mentioned the under eye. And yeah, PRP, love it. Hands down, my favorite procedure that we offer at the center.
So one of my favorites, I think both of our favorites from a supplement standpoint, is the NAD. And twofold, NAD can be done through injection, but all can be done through an IV. So we've done both, and we both love IVs. I mean, they're great to have. Try to do them once every couple weeks. It helps with hydration. Obviously, you just get a huge boost. But you can also add the NAD there, so you can do a drip where it's a slower IV, but you also get the benefits of NAD. So we typically do the NAD shots injection. Great with mental clarity, helps you with appetites. It works on a cellular level, so it's really just an amazing. They call it the fountain of youth. Really, it's a coenzyme that works with your body, so it's natural. So this is one of our newest ventures, and I think we're promoting it pretty heavily. It's just a great tool for yourself to add, to complement anything else you're doing. So NAD is sort of where it's at right now.
Yeah, I've seen and felt great results personally. We've both been doing it weekly since October, and then with the with the IV, I did try that once, and something that I personally noticed with the IV was complete loss of appetite, which was not the reason I did it. I did it because we were going on vacation and I was gonna miss a week. So I was like, oh, I just might as well do a double dose in an IV. And I still don't feel like my appetite is fully back from that IV. So if you are also looking for a way to suppress your appetite and you don't want to get on the medical weight loss train, NAD is amazing for recovering from addiction, which can also be food addiction essentially. If you're somebody that has a lot of cravings or binges, NAD is something worth looking into.
What about laser hair removal?
Laser hair removal?
Yes. Finally, we have it. I mean, it's been something we've looked forward to for a while. When I do my competitions, I have to shave my body, which is a sort of pain. And so this has been something I'm looking forward to having in a while. So I've been doing it. Kristen's been doing it as well. It's great because the tool we have is based off the Optimus system from InMode. It's very comfortable as far as the procedure. Very little pain at all if you even consider pain. In some areas you can't even feel it. So it's a very quick process. You do it every 4 to 6 weeks. So I've had three treatments so far, I think. The results are great. So it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, I don't have to worry about ever shaving my arms again. So from a woman's perspective, I'm sure Chris has her own feelings. But
Yeah, I have not shaved my leg once this winter, except for to prepare for my laser hair sessions because we do it every 6 weeks. So I will say after my first session, my hair started growing in way more fine, and like I hardly even noticed it. And then as time has gone on, it's just getting better and better. But yeah, 3 treatments in, and it's the best thing I ever did. So if you're considering laser hair removal, definitely. I'm kind of a baby, and it is very comfortable treatment. And Maritza and Tammy both are really quick, efficient. They make you feel comfortable throughout the entire process. So laser hair removal is definitely, now's the time to do it. Summer's coming, so we have some great deals on that for our Galentine's promos as well. So yeah, just kind of a recap. Procedures we've gotten done are the hydrofacial, neurotoxins, PRP for hair restoration, hip injection, vampire breast lift, IVs, NAD,
Oh, we didn't talk about peptides.
laser hair removal, peptides. We're going to get more into peptides when we talk about more of the fitness aspect. But peptides are something Ryan and I do daily also, and it just really enhances our fitness goals. But we'll save that for the next episode. So these are all the things that we love that help us look and feel our best on a daily basis. And you know what? Despite it being a rough week, I'm looking forward to turning it around, right?
Yep.
It's just part of it.
It's part of being a business owner, so it's we'll work through everything.
Yes.
Thanks to everybody who's taken some time to listen to our new podcast. Maybe we're not Joe Rogan, but hey, we're trying. So please subscribe, help us out. If there's any questions you have, please let us know. I encourage you to go to our Instagram page and take a look at some of the content there. And then, hey, see you next time.
See you next week.